Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Coaching Call podcast. On this podcast, we'll cover various types of coaching by trainers in sports, martial arts, fitness, and business. We'll discuss each coach's methods to getting the most out of their respective athletes or clients and how they attempt to change the platform in which they coach. Join us on a fun adventure as we discuss unique coaching styles. Coaching is a universal part of how we get others to get something done. Join your host, Raphael, and his guests on this unique journey in coaching.
Hi, I'm Sifu Raphael, and this is the Coaching Call podcast. If you enjoy this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. This episode was made possible by listeners like you. Luca, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me on Coaching Call. How's everything going?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Everything's good. Thank you. How are you?
Exceptional, getting better every day. So I wanna
Beautiful.
talk about you, your life, what you've done, how you're helping people, and what made those changes come about. But I'd love to get to know you when you were a youngster, when you were 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Who influenced you, and where did you grow up?
I mean, I grew up in the Netherlands, close
Mhm.
to the city called Rotterdam. Who influenced me? I mean, my dad played a big part in how I grew up, of course. And I mean, people from the movies, really. I mean, when you're a
Right.
kid, when you're younger, you look up to these movie people, you know,
Mm.
from people like from Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting. You know, I used to love that stuff. Up to, I mean, Schwarzenegger, up to like just many different, like Neo from the Matrix. I don't know, like there were so many uh, cool characters back in the
Right,
time that
right.
you wanted to be like them. You know,
Mm.
everybody wanted to be a Superman, you know,
Right.
Spider-Man, or
Yeah, exactly. And you hope to one day get the superpowers, right?
I hoped until I got a little older, and then you know, things changed.
Yeah. So, but we all do have some superpowers. It's not the same ones that the superheroes have in the movies, but we have a different way, a different uniqueness to us that makes us all really exceptional, right? So you talked in your
Definitely.
bio about some of the trials and tribulations that you've gone through. You speak 5 languages. You've lived in 2 different countries. Um, Tell us about what was your first language and what inspired you to learn even so, I get it. You go from one country to another, you got to learn the language, but why even 5?
Well, I was kind of lucky with my languages, to be honest with you, because I was born in the country of Georgia, Tbilisi, the capital of Georgia, which is East Europe, close to on the Black Sea. And when I was a year and a half, there was a civil war. So my parents had to run away from Georgia because of the political situation there to the Netherlands.
Mm. Right.
So when you go from one country to another, at home, you speak a certain language, which was Georgian. We spoke Georgian at home, and outside in Holland, you would speak Dutch. And I would go through school, and you're going to end up speaking the language of where you're at.
Right.
And also in Holland, the second language, like the second used language, like probably I could say 90, 80, 90% of the people, they speak English because they're influenced through American TV,
Right.
gaming. I mean, a lot of stuff that was playing a huge part in Holland was in English. So that's already Georgian, Dutch, and English. That's already 3 languages.
Right. 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 Cool.
Then, after when I was 14 years old, we moved from Holland to Spain.
Mm.
So when I moved to Spain, the same thing. I learned Spanish and I picked up on my German, funny enough, because German is very similar to Dutch.
Huh.
So it's like a cheat code, you know? So I mean that's how it more or less went. And of course you put in a little effort, you put in energy from your own side to perfect it a little bit, to tweak some things a little bit. and that's how I mastered, as they say, these languages.
Mm. So one of the things that I've known people from Spain, and they actually speak two Spanish languages, right? Castellano y Castellano,
Yeah,
right?
there is even four languages in Spain.
Oh,
Like
really?
depends where you're. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the region where I'm in, the Valencian, La Comunidad Valenciana, they speak Castellano, which is like the
Mm,
international Spanish, like that they also speak in Colombia, that they speak in like just every Latin country which is Spanish speaking, they speak
right.
Castellano, including Spain, Madrid, and like all over the country basically. And then you got these other languages that is region dependent, if you know what I mean. So you
Yeah.
got places like in the Valencian, you got Valenciano, but this is everybody will understand Castellano,
Hmm.
but Valenciano they will not understand in Madrid, for example, like a dialect. Useless. I call it useless. I think like why you want to learn a language that you only speak in a little area? It doesn't make sense to me. You're better off teaching them French or something, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
As a kid, a lot of people spoke Pig Latin. Pig Latin is when they added something to it. I never picked it up because to me, it was useless. But to the other kids, it was a way for them to communicate where other people didn't understand them. So there is an advantage to using a language where no one else knows it, right? Because maybe you're trying to say something you don't want the other person to understand. But to me, you're right. I rather communicate where I am understood and I can understand the people I'm speaking with.
Makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense.
So you you I labeled our discussion today party animal to solid warrior. So let's talk about your partying that you started to
It's
partake
a
in
beautiful name.
as a youngster. Let's talk about
Well,
that.
I done a lot of partying in my life. I mean,
Mhm.
starting in Holland, Netherlands, from weed and everything is legal there. I mean,
Right.
Holland's got a pretty interesting party scene where I started pretty young. I started smoking when I was 13, smoking weed when I was 13,
Mm.
drinking, and it all went from there. And then when I went to Spain, here the party really escalated because Spain
Right.
is like because of the sunshine, the beach, the music. I mean, this is 24. In Spain, you can party 24/7. You will always find a party if you look for it,
Yeah.
especially in summertime. You got a very beautiful places, beautiful women. You got a very mix of cultures. There's a lot of different tourists coming here. I mean, where I am, because I'm on the coast area. I'm not in the inside. So I'm on the coastal area, which is basically designed for tourists to come and party, if it makes any sense.
Right.
So
Right.
I was very, I don't know, lucky and unlucky at the same time because I got tempted by this, how can I say it, like easy way of satisfying yourself temporarily, but in the long
Mhm.
term, it's just you're shooting yourself in the foot because you should only party. Well, what I thought was party when you earn it. And
Right.
right now, when I got that mindset, even if I would earn it, I would not do the same thing that I would do before. I didn't. I have not drank a beer for 6 months. I've not drank nothing. I've stopped smoking. I've not done anything. I've just been constantly training every day, not skipped one day, like Monday till Monday, growing every day, stretching my limits, stretching out of my comfort zone. I mean, doing things, waking up 3 o'clock in the morning. Like some people, they will get terrified if they hear this. Of the things that I'm doing just to keep my mind right and to stay sharp and stay focused. And it's the best life I've ever had. I'm the most focused. I achieved more than I ever did in years. Like I've achieved in 6 months. It's just crazy. But back to my party days. I mean, every young man that I know wants beautiful girls, nice cars, money. Like want to be cool, want to be. I mean, all these things, like like I said in the beginning, like this movie things, or how that's the only way I can really describe it. To be honest with you, like every young boy wants that. Every young boy wants to be cool, wants the girls, wants the fun, no young boy, no 13, 14-year-old boy is thinking, hey, I should be disciplined. Yeah. Not that
Right.
I know of. Maybe there's some super kid somewhere running around. Bless you. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I happen to make these mistakes, which I learned from later on. But um, that was the party aspect. That was the mistake I made with party.
Mm, mm. It's also a lot of times when a youngster um, goes out and becomes a party person, it's because they don't have the influence of someone, right? Because they want what other people have. They don't see the benefits sometimes of doing the hard work or studying or doing all these different things like you see now. So a lot of people, thank God, you woke up and you said, wait a minute, I need to change what I'm doing. I need to realize that I have so much potential. And you just talked about you get up between 3 and 4 in the morning and you're doing things that most people are terrified to do, and that is work on you. Most people are afraid to look in the mirror because what they see, they don't like. And when they see what they don't like,
And
they
that
cover that mirror. They put stuff on it so that it no longer they don't have to look at it. So that's where the drugs come in, the smoking, the partying, hanging
100%.
out with wrong people, having people tell you how awesome you are, meanwhile you're doing nothing with your life. So what happens is people don't really look inward. And so when we can start,
That's exactly, you said it there, looking inward. You're
yeah,
running away.
yeah. So when you started doing that, that's when everything started changing for you. And you said in the last 6 months, you've learned so much more than you probably have in years, right?
Yeah,
Because you did the work, you did the due diligence that is needed by everyone. And you cannot be the CEO of your life without doing all of that work.
that's correct. I mean, it is definitely looking back at it now, it is running away from yourself. I mean, because it's an easy fix, right?
Mhm.
You drink something, you're
Absolutely.
happy for a moment, but the next day you're gonna look in the mirror again. There is no running away. You know what I mean? You can make yourself think you're running away, but there is no running away from
Mhm.
yourself. It's
Right.
crazy. So, I mean, the first thing we have to do is the internal work. The way that you say it is exactly this, the internal work or the shadow work or whatever you want to call it. The work that nobody wants to do, the work that is hard, the work that takes time, the work that takes consistency, discipline. You know, these things are not easy. Drinking is easy, smoking is easy, and that easy road will take you to a very difficult life, because every day you're doing that easy thing is every day you're going to be unhappy. And being unhappy is very difficult, you know? And the longer you run away from yourself, the longer you will be unhappy. And the older you get, you're not always going to have the same chances and the same opportunities that you had moving down the line. And I
Right.
am lucky to make this big transformation at 31. Some people are 51 and they still haven't made that transformation. Not everybody is as lucky as I was, and some people fell in the bottle. Some people had a car accident, passed away because of the bottle. Some people went onto the coke and lost their soul because of that. Some people, I mean, there's so many examples that you can take that it's just some people lost their house on the roulette, running away like that. Some people run away in the hookers. Some people I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous what people do except looking themselves in the mirror. It's crazy if you think about how many different ways there are, and they are doing everything except looking at themselves.
Mhm. So
Ridiculous.
when we think about celebrities, I mean, there's so many celebrities who allow other people to shape their lives. But then there are some who are strong-willed and don't need to party every night, right? And then they're the ones that realize that they have so much more to do than just the status that they have to contribute to society. So when we can start looking outside of ourselves to help other people, it's because we've done it internally. So you now are looking to help other people to realize their potential. What inspired you to even do that?
I mean, from when I was young, like a little boy, I always wanted to like make an impact on this world. It's like it was in my soul. You know, this was a part of me. But I always thought, you know, I always had in my head like I have to make 1 million first. I have to make like 10 million or whatever it is first. Then I can like build a school or help people with a shelter, build a library for kids on the street. And I had a lot of different ideas in my head. You know what I mean? But hey,
Hmm.
how long is it going to take before you make your first 10 million, for example? You know what I mean? You can't always wait till you get to this or this or this. That was the mistake. It was always like, when I get to here, then I'm going to hear. If I do this, then and at one point, it's just like, when I start working on myself, I thought, I don't need million. I can start helping people one by one right now. And my coach, who helped me, also motivated me big time with this because he says, Luca, what you done to yourself, you can help others do too. And one point it clicked in my head, and I thought, you know, it was like also through his guidance and through his help, of course, it was like, it's not about me anymore. You know what I mean? It's not about me. I want to help as much people as I can in the correct way, guide them in the correct way, show them the correct example, show them how it should be done through me learning by my mistakes and me making a transformation on myself. So everything that I tell
Hmm.
people, I have already done myself. I'm not telling them nothing that I'm experimenting with or I have not done myself. Everything that works for me will work for you. So I start sharing everything that worked for me. I start making videos, start making content, start coaching people, training people. And people have been very, very happy with it. And their happiness makes me even 10 times more happy. So it's like an upward spiral, if it makes any sense.
Oh, absolutely. You know, one of the things that when we lead by example, that's the power. Because a lot of people will always say, follow me, but they do something differently. They don't necessarily do what everybody else want, what they're telling people to do. And so they're misguiding people, or they're using a different person to say, follow me and you'll get their results. Meanwhile, they're not doing it themselves. So, yes, leading by example, I believe, is the essence of a true leader. Somebody who says, hey, you know what? And somebody who's honest too, say, hey, you know what? I tried that. It didn't work for me, but you're welcome to try it. Also, by stating the facts of how I did this, how it worked for me. Because what may work for me may not work for you. But this is how I did it. If you're willing to try it, I'm willing to help, right?
100%, I agree with you 100% because if you haven't done it, first of all, you should not promote it. That's what I think, first of all. And second of all, I mean, if you, and then I'll just say a simple example. If I'm smoking right now, and I'm
Mm,
telling you, hey, stop smoking, and I got a cigarette in my mouth. The effect of when you don't do it first, people don't listen to you. They're not going to
right.
take you serious. Why would you listen to somebody who's smoking telling you, hey, stop smoking, it's bad for you? And he's smoking himself. It's just, it loses the power. If you don't do it yourself, your words lose power. That's the thing. That's what it is also with parents. You know, parents who tell their kids, do this, do that, and they don't do it themselves. That's why the kid
I,
don't listen. Because you don't do it. When you show it, the kid will automatically take it in like a sponge. He does what he sees, you know, not what you tell him. It's not a computer program. He has to see
right.
what you're doing. That's why you get a lot of, for example, parents who are overweight or parents who smoke, that their kids become like that too. And I think
Hmm.
many people and it can make me angry, are not responsible enough because you put the food on your children's plate, right? You could have put a little bit more healthy food there. You could have put a little bit more different food there. Why are you making your kid fat? You're putting him through, and this is just one of the 20 examples we can call. You're putting him through school in a difficult time
Mm.
because you're just not changing what you're putting on his plate, or you have to smoke in front of his nose, then he's gonna smoke for 10, 20 years because he's seen you do it and you're like his hero, you know what I mean? So he's gonna do what you're doing. Why you do that? Because they are not aware of this. They think just by telling him, that's why I lead by example. So my word has power. So when I say something, it impacts because I'm the first one. I'm the one who wakes up 3 o'clock before I tell somebody to do it. I'm the one who's in the gym before I tell somebody to do it. I'm the one who's eating 1,800 calories before I tell somebody to do it, etc., etc., etc. I'm the experimental bunny first, and I've done it over and over and over again before I ask somebody else to do it. I think that's the responsibility we should all take, especially if you got children, and
Yeah,
especially
no.
if you're a example to your group, to your family, to your people. We have to take, as men, especially as men, we have to take responsibility. We have to become a little bit more harder, guys, a little bit more tougher on ourselves, Like they say, we have to be tough with ourselves and be gentle to others. Like we have to level up as a group. We have to look up to people who are strong, who are leaders, and follow them. Don't follow these weak people, because the people who follow you will weak down too. You're responsible, whether you like it or not.
Mm. Powerful. We are responsible. We're responsible for our own actions. We can't act a certain way and say, I'm acting this way because of that person. No, you're acting this way because you chose to, right? So when we empower our own children, we should do it because we're thinking of them first. We're not thinking of us first, right? So we have to, obviously, as a great parent, you have to take care of you first, so that when you do act for your children, you're there
Yeah,
for them. So if I
yeah.
sit down and I come back from work every day and I drink 3 beers or 5 beers, and that's how I live my life,
And then tell
you're
your
going to make
kids don't
kids.
drink beer. And then tell your kids don't drink beer.
No, you don't even have to say anything. You don't even have to say don't drink beer, but they see you
You
do
already
it.
said it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
by
you already
doing
said
it,
it by doing it.
you don't have to say don't do it. All you have to say is you're not old enough, right? That's it. Say that. When the kid says, "Hey, Dad, I want a beer," well, you're not 21 yet, or in certain countries you're not 16 or 18, whatever it is, whatever the drinking age is in certain countries. But you say, "Well, you're not old enough yet." What you're telling the children is that when you become a certain age, it's okay. It's okay for you to act the way I'm acting. So, same thing. If you're smoking, even if it's a cigarette, not necessarily weed, you're telling the children you're not old enough yet, but when you become my age, you can do anything you want without consequences. But when we live a life worthwhile, a life that we want to impact our children, the way we behave, you and I are both drinking water, I can tell. But if I had vodka in my drink, right, in here, and I stumble, and my kids see me stumbling all the time after I sit down with and have a meal or whatever, they're going to go, "Oh, that's just dad. That's how
That's
he is.
normal.
It's normal." And then what happens later on? They're like, "Well, I want to be like dad. I want to do the things that dad has done." So when we think about the life that we live, we have to live a life that we can be proud of later in life, like what you're doing. You realize that you were, you thought you were happy because, listen, when you're partying, when you're drinking, when you're laughing, it's a great time. But you can have a great time without being intoxicated. I can go to a party and have as much
Of
fun
course.
as the person who's drinking and then passes out on the couch, but I'm going to have a better time because guess what? I'm going to wake up without my brain feeling dehydrated, because when you drink, what happens is your brain becomes dehydrated. That's why if I do have a drink, as a casual drinker that I am, if I go to a party, I have one drink. I don't have two, three, four, five, or more. I have one, but then I drink a lot of water anyway. So I will always wake up with a sane mind, a strong mind, and I can get up at any given time. I, like you, get up very early in the morning. I do more things before people wake up in the morning. I know you do the same. So for me, working out every
Yes, sir.
day, there is no question. Sometimes I work out several times a day because I work out in the morning, sometimes in the middle of the day, and every evening. So for me, working out is just who I am, and people don't have to ask me, "Hey, are you working out tomorrow?" They already know I'm working out.
Then
So
I have a
if you
different question.
sure,
Imagine instead of coming home and seeing you drinking, your child sees you working out.
yeah,
What do you
what are
think
they
he's
gonna
gonna
do?
do?
He's gonna want to work out.
That's what I'm saying. So you are responsible by what you do. And this is the
Yeah.
problem. This is exactly what I was talking about. Show your kid this. If you can be a child again and you can choose whatever it is, do you want the guy who's drinking 4 or 5 beers who will not look in shape? I'll guarantee you that. If somebody drinking 4 or 5 beers a day, or do you want the guy when you come home and dad is doing push-ups and he's jacked? You understand? He's looking good, feeling good, strong. You know what I mean? Which one do you want? As a
Mm.
kid, which one would you choose? Then I would say the same. Which father would you want to be? The guy who's healthy, who's strong, who's disciplined, who says something, then does it? Or you want to be that guy, like, it's okay, trust me, or whatever it is. Let's go next week to that football match that I promised you last time for the fifth time.
Mm.
Because, guys, it's all linked together. This is another mistake. We think this is separate, that's separate. It's all linked together. Your discipline is linked with your fitness. You
Right.
understand? You're fit. You cannot be in good shape if you're not disciplined. And if you're in good shape, you're not going to drink so much because it's a whole different lifestyle. Like you said, this is who I've become. You will never become this guy if you become a different type of guy. And this is the biggest challenge we're having right now. Don't pass your pains to your children or to your brother or to your neighbor or whoever it is. You're responsible, whether you like it or not. And when you start thinking what I came in my head, hey, it's not about me anymore. I appreciate this that my coach taught me. One of the most things is not about you anymore. You're thinking about you. That's why you're drinking 5, 6. It's all about you. You don't give a fuck about your kid, about your wife, about anything. Otherwise, you wouldn't be drinking 6 beers a day. Come on. You would
Mm.
fix that. And then you
Yeah.
would become a better role model. And your wife would be happier. Your kids will be happier. Where you work, be happier. Most of all, you would be happier.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So
And this is just
when we
real.
think, oh, yeah, it is very real. So when we impact another person, if we do it from heart centered, if we do it because we care, it definitely will come stronger than if we don't care. We're just doing it for the money, right? Because there's a lot of trainers out there that really don't care as long as they're getting paid, right? So when we come heart centered and we actually give a damn, if you will, we care for that person, we care for what happens to them. So as a business person, it doesn't matter the business. If we come and we care for our customers, for our clients, it impacts their life. so much more. Even if you're just selling them a toy, right? A widget or a service. But it shows that when they purchase from you, whatever it is, that they know that someone on the other side of that transaction cares. If it breaks, that you're going to facilitate it so you can either repair it or replace it. But if we only come in with the money mind instead of the heartfelt mind, then what are we doing in life? Where do we end our life knowing that we've made an impact in the world? What are your thoughts?
My answer to that would be do it heartfelt, and the money will come anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Do it from the heart, and money will follow anyway, because you're getting the results anyway. The power of the right intention. I even remember till today, I was with my friend in the car, and a lady passed by the crosswalk, or I don't know, and just the way she smiled, I can still remember till today, because the energy behind it was so authentic. You know what I mean? And it was just the energy behind it. I mean, just put your heart in whatever you do, and money will follow. You know, don't prioritize money and lose yourself. You can get both. You know. And give me 1 second. Sorry, my phone is being. I'm gonna jump in with my other phone in the link. Is that possible?
I got you. Yep.
Yeah, is that possible? Because I got a second phone right here.
Go for it.
Okay, 1 second.
So while you're doing that, I'm gonna
thank you.
your Instagram here. Your Instagram is Luca.
Sure.
Luca, how do you say your last name? Poulariani?
Coach me, Luca. Coach me, Luca. You can go to my website and you can get all the links to my Instagram, to my TikTok, my Facebook. It's all Coach me, Luca.
Gotcha.
And the best, easiest way would be www.coachmeluca.com.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna jump in.
So when you, I'm gonna let you on that one.
Sorry, 1 second.
You have to shut one off.
Yeah, I'm gonna shut this one.
Okay.
1 second.
And then just turn it over.
Let's see this.
And ta-da!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna twist it, turn this around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question comes to mind. Why do you have two phones?
I got two phones. Makes life a little easier, you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, I'm just checking.
Yeah, no problem. No, the iPhone I got is for videos because I'm a content creator and it's got like a really good camera. And this one, camera broke, you know. So, but I'm used to Android. And I like it. I'm just very fast with it. And iPhone, the switch was a little bit uncomfortable.
I went through the same thing. I have an iPhone now, so but I used to be an Android guy. You know, it's funny because the Android has a better camera. You know.
This Android is 2 years old.
Oh, okay. So
and the iPhone is the newer. So you could actually see a pretty big difference. And like I said, because I'm a content creator, I need a quality camera.
Yeah, of course.
I needed that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm also a content creator. I post every day. You know, I post workout videos every single day. I do just a 5-minute workout video for everybody. Try to encourage people to get off their tush and do something productive with their life, to move every day, right?
Good.
So when did you realize that creating content as a content creator was going to be a good fit for you?
This was 4 or 5 months ago when I understood the power of giving value, like what giving value does. And then I understood that obviously there's a million ways of giving value, but technology is just the fastest way to do it. because this video that we're making right now can be copied and pasted 1,000,000 times.
Correct.
So I don't have to say it 1,000,000 times. It can just be copied and pasted. Maybe it will go viral. Maybe it won't go viral. Maybe some guy at the other side of the world wants to see it. Maybe a family member wants to see this interview, whatever. The power of content is just crazy. And the connection that the internet makes is just next level.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And then
So I had my
can
co-host
create
from another show was on here, and he said it's powerful stuff this morning. And he also said that you and him have some similarities, because he also is a guy who wakes up very early in the morning, and he works out, and he does all these things, and he's empowering, he's always reading. So when we think about the way we live our lives, it's with intention. When you live your life with intention, when you know what your day is going to look like, it's because as a content creator, you know what you have to create, right? As a content creator, you have to be engaging. You have to be able to put content out there that people are even going to want to take a look at. Maybe in the beginning, they don't know because they don't know you. But then all of a sudden you start getting followers. And then those followers go, I like their content. So I've had people, they like one of my videos. And then all of a sudden they like 300 of my videos. I'm like, oh, they went backwards. They went backwards to see what I'd done. And then so it's kind of cool when we can create something that impacts another person, right? And as a content creator, there's different ways of getting paid, right? So if you did it and nobody paid you, would you still continue doing it?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not about the money anymore. It's not in the beginning I thought, yeah, I want to make money, this, but it wasn't only about the money, never it was. Because like I said, from young, I have this, I want to help people. I need to help people. It's like air, I need to help people.
Yeah.
But at one point, it's like you start, you're like, okay, because I want to do this full time, make a business, and it's like I came to the point 2 months ago, I don't care if I make money. I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to upload every day. I'm still going to do the process every day. And this is where the power is, by the way. Detaching, not caring about the results, and keep on going every day. Because I got a 5 and 10 year plan with this. I'm going to keep going. And maybe next year we can do another podcast. And you got this recorded so I can prove myself. Remember what I said. Next year, I'll still be doing the same thing. Whether I make money or not, like I said, I need this. And apart from this, there is a universal law. I don't know if you're aware of this, called the law of compensation.
Of course.
Whatever you give, you will get back in this life. And maybe it's not a monetary form, maybe it's a different form. So I don't worry about that. I know that the more value I give, and this is what a lot of people should understand, this is a big one. The more value you give, the more value you get. It's not a take, it's give, and you will get. And it's the same thing that is also that you said about people think about the money. Just provide value. The money will come. Don't worry about that. It will come. Detach from the results. This is very powerful. This is also what kept me going for so long.
Oh, yeah.
This is what got me the results that I got. This was the thing that was stopping me from getting to the level where I was. Because before, I would always 1-2 months, go, fall down. Go, fall down. For years, I made the same mistake. And when I came to the conclusion that stop looking at the results, just make sure and be proud that you're doing it every day, and look at the process and enjoy the process, and just focus on the now, the here, and forget about all the noise around you. That's when I started getting results, because that's when I was being consistent with all the difficult tasks. This is a big one, guys. This is a big key. You have to fully understand it. Be in the now. Give as much value as you can. Forget about the outside noise. It's all internal. This whole game, this whole matrix, this whole world, this whole show is all internal. And once you click, then you don't care about it. I'm not going to the gym to become Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm going to the gym to stretch that limit a little bit more.
little bit more, little bit more. I can't do one more. I can't do it anymore. That's when I do two more. I stretched it, little bit more, little bit more. And bam, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. You look back and there's a whole other person looking at you in the mirror. And
That's
also,
right.
I want to add on to that. I want to add on to that the feeling that you get, this internal satisfaction that you get, beats every single feeling that you get with this party bullshit, if you know what I mean, this illusion, this joke, compared with the internal feeling, satisfaction that you get every day without having a million, without having 5 cars, without having 6 girls, without having, you don't need nothing anymore. You become so powerful because A, you don't need nothing anymore because you already have everything through discipline, through daily action that is A, good for you, B, gets you the results that you always wanted, and C, what's better than living this life? Which better
That's right.
lifestyle can you have than a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. When we think about the impact that we are not, I think the satisfaction for both you and me comes from the internal feelings we get. That feeling of, like you said, I can do one more. I'm not doing one more for that person or that person or that one. I'm doing one more for me, because the results will internalize that feeling, but also the outward, right? That accomplishment that we can get from saying, I thought I couldn't, but I pushed. And when I learn to push, I can push not one, but maybe 2 more, maybe 2.5. But the thing is, the struggle will always be there because there will always be a new challenge. And I always look for that new challenge. I can see that you do the same. So when we understand us, what motivated you to make this a business so that you can help more people? What inspires you to help someone?
It's my duty.
Mm,
It's my duty because if I could change so dramatically, because I've been through hell looking for answers, and I mean hell, looking for the answers that could finally free me, because this is what it is, free me. I was in shackles and I got freed, if it makes any sense.
mm,
And I think it's my duty, and I'm on this planet to do exactly this, pass on what worked for me, at the same time becoming better every day, and pass on what has worked for me. Because there is no bigger gift I can give somebody than what freed me. Because, like I said, there was nothing worse than feeling stuck. And your
mm,
mind is the one that's making you stuck. So you're the one, because you start thinking, what's wrong with me? Why me? Why are all these other people, you thinking this? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true. That's a different scenario. But why are all these other people living normal lives and I can't even wake up 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the
mm,
morning? Or why I can't even follow that routine for 6 months? What's wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like, why am I? And this is a frustration and a certain type of, I don't know, mixed feelings from anger, sadness. You really want, because I always had this burning desire. And that's the one that got me over the finish line. That burning desire that you want more from this life, that you know that you deserve more from this life. We
yeah.
all know we deserve more from this life. And this is the thing. And some people, they just accept it, like, okay, it is what it is. Hey, this is this. And I couldn't accept it. And I don't want you to accept it neither. I'm talking to the viewers. Don't
Mm,
accept it. Don't accept
yeah.
the 5 beers a day. Don't accept it. Don't accept cigarettes. Why? And this is my duty to show the people how I transform myself, show them the way, free them, and then they can show it maybe to someone else, or they can be a better father for their children will be a better father for someone else's children, and I'll be breaking curses, like literally, like family curses, because I know
Mm,
a lot of people that their granddad was drinking, that's why the dad was drinking, and that's why he's drinking, and that's why his son is drinking. And
Right.
I can change tens and hundreds of lives. Maybe when I'm gone, people still changing, but it doesn't matter. It's my duty, because if I'm blessed and God give me this chance to restart my life, then I feel like it's my responsibility. The same way I said, lead by example. I'm telling you guys, it's the Father's responsibility to put that beer away. You know, it's my responsibility that if I got blessed with this knowledge, I want to share this knowledge. And I'm sharing it every day for free.
Yeah.
I'm doing it every day.
It's beautiful, man. Congratulations on that. When you take on a client, what can they expect from you?
The truth, first of all. I don't like this. I don't know. Can I swear? Can I be like natural? Do you want me to like? How does this work on this podcast? Can I say certain words?
You've already said some curse words, but
Yeah, is that okay if I just like keep it natural?
let me ask you a question. If you were in front of children, could you express yourself?
Okay. So there's
I'm just
also
asking the
children watching.
question.
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
Okay.
So
I don't like to put.
let me ask you before you go on, what if the words you're going to say next can impact a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old? Will your
Beautiful.
cursing be positive or negative to them? Or is there a better way to express to someone? Because this is going to be on the internet. This is going to be, what if your children later on see the way you're doing things, right? We just talked about our behaviors, how we present ourselves to the world. How do we present ourselves to a child if we want to impact their lives? I leave you with that, and you speak the way you want to.
Okay. If there are children watching, 100%. If there will be grown-ups watching, I would just curse, because cursing has a certain impact. It gives a certain importance to a word. What you say depends, but this is a different scenario. I will say it in a different way, which also
Sure.
includes if children are watching. I don't like to put too much sugar on the cake, if it makes any sense. I don't want to sweet talk you. I like to get to the root of the problem. Be honest with somebody. Make somebody look in the mirror. And I'm not talking about degrading somebody. I'm not talking about being rude to somebody. I'm just talking about if he's drinking 6 beers a day, I'm not going to tell him that it's okay. I'm not going to say, hey, you know what? Turn that 6 into 5 and then 4. No, man. Don't drink. You want to be a good example? Don't drink. Get yourself fixed. Work on yourself so you don't want to drink. I would go that way. So first of all, I would begin with truth and honesty. And just where are we at? Where are we? And where do we want to go? And I know where every man wants to go. Every man wants to be stronger, wants to be richer, wants to be smarter. You cannot tell me that you want to be dumber or you want to be poorer. Like, I'm not going to believe it. Or you want to be weaker. Like, no man wants that. So we start with discipline. We start with fitness. We start with mindset. Mind, body, and soul transformations. That's what I do. We start with eating right, training, by doing these non-negotiable tasks every day that builds your confidence as a man, makes you feel better, makes you have more pride in yourself, makes you feel like you can conquer the world, like a man should feel like, through the daily tasks of investing in yourself. And when you start getting when you start stacking these little wins, you're winning every day, little wins, little wins, little wins, and you're building up and you're like, yeah, I feel, you know what? I can feel it. I'm back in power. I'm back again. I'm me again. Then you're going to see big changes. But this is just a small example of what I can just say in 4 or 5 minutes without swearing also. So these are the things that building you up, because that's what people forgot to do. Invest in themselves. They have now a habit of watching Netflix for 2 hours, but they don't read the book. They don't. They will refuse to invest in themselves because they refuse the tiniest bit of effort, of stretching. They want it all comfortable, fast food. The car take me here. Never take a walk. Sit. I want the most comfortable couch. I want the water bed. These things and they don't understand that that's the worst thing you can do. Pamper yourself all the way into that nice, warm, because you're not going to want to stand up again and you'll die there, nice and warm. 65, 80 years old, nice and warm. You're still, since 25, you're being nice and warm. Since 80, your life flashed by you. You never done nothing. You haven't even challenged yourself. You haven't even felt like a man for 40 years. What's wrong with you? Why not? Because you didn't take these little steps every day. And it breaks my heart because it's so true. And these people, you're only this far away from being the man you want to be. But you have to change some things. And you have to take steps in a certain direction, which is the opposite of direction of this bear. And if you are not man enough to do it for you, then at least do it for your kids. And do it for your wife, and do it for somebody you love, so they don't have to go through the same pain that you went through. This is what I teach people in a short way.
Yeah, no, I get it. So your actions today will reflect your tomorrows, right?
Of course. Your habits.
So one of my mentors said something, and I thought it was kind of funny. He said, I knew a man who died at 30, but wasn't buried till he was 80. Because for those 50 years, they lived a sedentary lifestyle. They didn't grow anymore. They didn't expand.
Mummified. He got mummified.
He got mummified, sitting on the couch, doing nothing, expecting other people to do things for them. People have pity on them. Where, the remote control was there. And even with the remote control, if the remote control is across the table, they're like, hey, can you get me that remote control?
Ridiculous.
So it was about living a life that they were just taking space up instead of creating the space to give someone else an opportunity. So all
adding value
people up, right? Because they do nothing with their lives. So how can we change the trajectory of our lives if we're not doing something every single day, every day, to make our lives worthwhile, so that when we do die, people remember us by our actions, not our inactions.
It's correct. You leave a legacy. I mean, many people, they don't realize that every day is like a new life. You restart every day.
Yes,
and it took me also a while to fully grasp this. Every day is a new day. That's it. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow doesn't exist. This is a new day. You have to do it again. You have to train again. You have to have your breakfast again. You have to brush your teeth again. It's a reset. And many people, they think like, you know what? I've done it yesterday. So today, let's mummify myself a little bit. But what happens there is when you choose this comfort, it's more difficult to get back to that disciplined state, because you just took that warm blanket, and it's after you pull off a warm blanket, the cold is more difficult than if you sleep in a cold one, and again, we come back to the same thing. No man, like in history, doesn't matter. Man, we were never in comfortable spaces till the last, 50 years, when it became normal to the TV and sit down like bellies, 60 years, 80, 100 years ago even, and before definitely not. You think guys have bellies like this? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
Well, think about a caveman, right? How many cavemen were heavy? Probably not many, because if they were heavy, they couldn't run, and their life would be in danger. Right?
Yeah, that's it. So this is a new thing. This phone sitting, this chair sitting all day. This is new. The TV, you're like zombified. You know what I mean? Like the TV hypnotizes you. It puts you in a certain frequency. That's also a different story. But what it is this is a new lifestyle, an unproven lifestyle. They don't know what's going to happen in 50 years from now if we keep doing what we're doing. This is a new system, but this is an unhealthy system. And you can see that also displays most broken families is because there was no man in the house. You know, this is all this is all the results from the root, which is what we attack in my coaching program. We all go back to the root, and the root always was, always will be self-control. Overriding your emotions, not being emotional. And I'm talking about emotional is, for example, I want to eat that cookie, but I'm not. Because I know that this cookie will bring me more bad than good. This is the root. Control, self-control. When you can control the booze, no problem. When you can control your anger, no problem. When you can control, I don't want to go to the gym, but you still go to the gym. This is the key. This is the key to happiness. This is the key to results. This is the key to a healthy family. This is the key to your health. This is the key to business. This is the key to riches. This is the key to becoming the best man you can ever dream of, is self-control, which equals discipline.
It does. It does. Look, I got to thank you for today. It's very enlightening, and I love what you're doing, and I love the fact that you are working on the number one person in the whole world, and that is you, my friend. So keep that going, keep inspiring people, and let's stay in touch. Keep me informed as to your progress, how things are going, and maybe someday I'll visit you in Spain, my friend.
I would love to. I would love to. And guys, see you next year, baby.
That's it.
Remember
That's
that.
it. All right. God bless, my friend. Have a good one.
Thank you very much for everything. I wish you all the best. And every viewer, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I wish all of you the best. If I can say one more thing, is give as much value as you can. And remember, people are looking. You are going to be an example, whether you like it or not. Choose. Choice is yours. Have a nice day.
Yes. Make it exceptional. All right. Bye-bye.